No matter how much is on your plate or how chaotic life feels, there's always a way to find time to clear out the clutter. But let's be real. It's not just about finding the time. It's about knowing how to make the most of it. That's what I'm here to share with you today. In this video, I've got 12 simple tips to help you declutter faster and more efficiently, whether that means cutting your time by 20%, 50%, or even more. Less mess, less stress, and one less thing weighing on your mind. Let's get into it. One of the best ways to speed up your decluttering process is to use the 80-20 rule. You might have heard of this as the Pareto principle, which basically says 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. Think about it. You probably use only 20% of your kitchen tools for 80% of your cooking. The rest just sits in drawers, taking up space. The rest? Just sitting there, taking up space. The same goes for everything else. Kitchen gadgets, office supplies, even the random things in your junk drawer. So why not focus on what actually matters and start clearing out the stuff you don't use? A simple way to apply this rule is to prioritize the most cluttered, high-impact areas. Instead of trying to tackle your whole house at once, start with the spaces that make the biggest difference: your kitchen counters, bookshelves, desk, or dining table. These are the spots that tend to collect clutter the fastest, and once they're clear, your space will instantly feel lighter and more organized. Now, here's the key. Be ruthless when deciding what to keep. A good rule of thumb: if you have to think too hard about whether to keep something, you probably don't need it. If it's not a clear yes, then it's a no. For example, I had a pair of sneakers that I kept around just in case. But every time I needed shoes, I reached for my favorites instead. These sneakers. They were uncomfortable, didn't match most of my outfits, and honestly, I didn't even like them that much. So why was I holding on to them? Time to let them go. At the end of the day, decluttering isn't just about getting rid of things. It's about creating a space that makes you feel good. So stop settling for may and surround yourself with only the things you love, use, and truly enjoy. You deserve a life full of yes. If you want to declutter faster and for good, you need to stop new clutter from coming in. It sounds obvious, right? But let's be real. It's easier said than done. A lot of people focus on getting rid of stuff, but if you're constantly bringing in new things, you're just creating a cycle. It's like trying to empty a bathtub while the faucet is still running. You're never going to get ahead. One common trap is justifying new purchases. Maybe you tell yourself, "Oh, I got rid of so much stuff. It's okay to pick up a few new things." Or maybe you feel like you're getting a great deal, so you grab something even if you don't really need it. But in the end, you're just adding more work for yourself. So if you tend to shop when you're bored, scroll online stores for fun, or convince yourself that every sale is too good to pass up, it's time to put some boundaries in place. Unsubscribe from marketing emails, avoid browsing for fun, and always ask yourself, do I actually need this? Or am I just creating more clutter for my future self to deal with? The less clutter you bring in, the easier it will be to keep your space tidy. Decluttering isn't just about what you take out, it's also about what you stop bringing in. When you're decluttering, focus is everything. It's easy to get distracted, especially when you only have a short amount of time. Picture this. You set aside 15 minutes to declutter. You walk into the kitchen, ready to tackle the mess. But then you see the sink full of dishes. Might as well wash those first, right? Next thing you know, you're wiping down counters, checking your phone, remembering an email you forgot to send. And just like that, your 15 minutes are up, and you haven't decluttered a thing. That's why it's so important to block out distractions. Don't clean. Don't organize. Just declutter. If you find something that belongs somewhere else, Don't get sidetracked running around the house, toss it in a bin, and deal with it later. The goal is to clear out the excess first, and once that's done, keeping things clean and organized will be so much easier. So next time you start decluttering, stay focused, move fast, and get it done. The rest can wait. If you want to declutter faster, donating is the way to go. A lot of people get stuck trying to sell things, listing them online, waiting for buyers, answering messages. It can turn into a whole project. And if you're already feeling overwhelmed, that's just another task on your plate. Here's the thing, your time and energy are more valuable than the stuff you're holding on to. Instead of stressing over making a few bucks, consider donating what's still in good condition and recycling the rest. It's quicker, easier, and helps someone else in the process. Decluttering shouldn't feel like another burden. So if selling is slowing you down, skip it and get those things out of your space right away. The less you have to manage, the lighter you'll feel. At the end of the day, your peace of mind is worth more than any clutter sitting in your house. Keep it simple, let go, and move on. One of the easiest ways to clear clutter fast is to do a quick trash sweep. No overthinking, just grab a garbage bag and start tossing anything that's obviously trash. Take the entryway, for example. This spot is a magnet for clutter, junk mail, crumpled receipts, empty shopping bags. Since it's the first place you see when you walk in, clearing it out instantly makes your home feel tidier. Next stop, head to your workspace or office. This is where random papers, dried up pens, and outdated notes pile up without you even noticing. If you haven't used it in months and it's not important, it's just clutter. Then, the kitchen. Check the fridge and pantry for expired food, stale snacks, and half-used bottles of condiments that no one's touched in months. If it's past its prime, or you're never going to use it, let it go. This whole process takes less than 10 minutes, but the difference it makes is huge. Decluttering doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes, a simple trash sweep is all you need to make your space feel fresh again. Clutter happens, and sometimes you just don't have time to deal with it right away. That's where a drop zone comes in handy, a designated spot where you can quickly toss things that need to be sorted later. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. A box, basket, or even a designated shelf can work. The idea is to have a go-to place for random items instead of letting them pile up on countertops or other surfaces. For example, if you find loose mail, small packages, or random items that need to be put away, drop them in the box instead of leaving them scattered around. When you have time, you can go through it and deal with everything in one go, instead of constantly moving clutter from one place to another. This simple trick helps keep your space organized with minimal effort and stops clutter from taking over your home. Just make sure to clear out your drop zone regularly so it doesn't become another clutter pile. Decluttering doesn't have to feel like a chore. If you make it fun, you'll actually want to keep doing it, and that's the key to staying clutter-free long-term. Instead of focusing on how boring or overwhelming it might be, try to make the process more enjoyable. Play your favorite music, put on a podcast or audiobook, or even turn it into a game. Set a timer and see how much you can get done in 10 minutes. If you're someone who loves rewards, give yourself a little incentive. Tell yourself, once I finish decluttering this space, I'll treat myself to a break with my favorite show or a cup of coffee. The trick is to make decluttering feel less like a task you have to do, and more like something that improves your space and your mindset. Because once you start seeing the results, you won't want to stop. One of the biggest excuses people have for not decluttering is, I don't have time. But here's the thing, you don't need hours to make progress. Even just 15 minutes can make a big difference if you stay focused. Set a timer, pick a spot, and go. The goal is to work fast and efficiently. Don't overthink. Just start removing things you don't need. You'll be surprised how much you can get done in a short amount of time. A great way to do this is to break it down by high-traffic areas. Give yourself 5 minutes per space: the kitchen counter, your desk, the entryway, or any spot that tends to collect clutter. By the time your timer goes off, you'll already see a difference. Decluttering doesn't have to be overwhelming. A little bit every day adds up way faster than you think. So grab a timer and get started. Running back and forth while decluttering is a huge waste of time. That's why using a Rehome box makes everything way easier. Instead of stopping every few seconds to return things to their proper place, grab a box, bin, or basket and toss in anything that doesn't belong in that space. That way, you stay focused on decluttering one area at a time without constantly getting sidetracked. Once you're done, take a few minutes to put everything back where it belongs. This keeps the process quick and efficient, so you don't feel like you're just shuffling clutter around. It's such a simple trick, but it makes decluttering so much faster and less frustrating. Try it out next time and see the difference. A great way to stay motivated while decluttering is to take a before picture. It might not seem like a big deal at first, but trust me, when you see the difference after you're done, it's super satisfying. It's easy to forget how much progress you've made when you're in the middle of the process. But when you can look back at where you started, it keeps you motivated to keep going. You can also make decluttering more fun by turning it into a challenge. Try a 1-item-a-day challenge, a 10-minute speed declutter, or the 4-box method where you sort items into keep, donate, trash, and relocate. Whatever keeps you inspired, go for it. Decluttering isn't just about cleaning up. It's about creating a space you actually enjoy. So grab your phone, snap that before picture, and get started. A big reason clutter builds up is because we put things down instead of putting them away. The one-touch rule helps stop that habit. The idea is simple. Every item you pick up should go straight to its proper place. Instead of tossing your jacket on a chair, hang it up immediately. Instead of leaving a package on the counter, deal with it right away. This small shift makes a huge difference in keeping your space tidy without extra effort. If you follow this consistently, you'll prevent clutter from piling up in the first place. If you often find yourself stuck deciding whether to keep or get rid of something, use the 5-second rule to break the cycle. Here's how it works. Pick up an item and give yourself 5 seconds to decide. Do you use it often? Does it serve a real purpose? Does it add value to your life? If you hesitate or start making excuses for why you might need it someday, that's a sign you probably don't. Let it go. This method eliminates decision fatigue and helps you declutter faster and with more confidence. Overthinking only slows you down. The quicker you decide, the sooner you create a space that actually works for you. So there you have it. This isn't the only way to declutter, but it's a great place to start. If you're feeling inspired and want more ideas, be sure to check out my other videos. Thanks for hanging out with me. Happy decluttering, and I'll see you in the next one.